Now we're going to listen to the kids.
So we can start. So first let me introduce everybody. Somebody can come here, you don't have to be all squeezed there. So Ben, do you want to come here?
Yes, he does.
Ben, come here. So let me introduce, this is Mr. Mayer Udell. Mayer.
Right.
Please, can you sit one in each chair, please? We have enough chairs. So this is Ariel.
Hi.
This is Ilana. Ilana, say hi.
Hi.
Tamara. You know already Mr. Abrams, and this is Ben.
Okay.
And we are ready to start.
Well, start. Who starts?
Okay, who would like to start?
I guess me.
Yeah, everything is on.
When did your family arrive in Glen Cove?
I had no family here. I arrived on my own. I came alone. I came here in 1939. I came February 1939. And I came to, I never lived in the city. I came to Long Island and I lived in Bay Shore. That's on the South Shore. And that's where I settled. And I lived there for 8 years. Then I came to Glen Cove after 8 years. I moved to Glen Cove. Anything else?
Where were you before you came to Long Island?
Where?
Where were you before you came to Long Island?
I was born and educated in Poland. And I came here when I was 20 years old.
When did you take over the jewelry store?
In 1947.
And
I had a factory then.
When did you become a member of the congregation?
In 1947.
In 1947.
When I got married in 47, I became a member here. I used to be a member in Bay Shore. They had a conservative, he was an Orthodox congregation. 6 months later, we voted to become a conservative congregation.
And what is your most vivid memory of the congregation in those days?
Well,
it
was
like?
different to me because it reminded me more of Poland. Because I used to go to shul and everything was Orthodox. Here, every member knew how to daven, and they came Shabbos to shul, and we didn't have any problems. If the Kenta wasn't here, everybody knew how to daven Ahmed. I used to daven many times.
Do you know what means the word daven?
Pray.
Pray, that's right. Yeah.
If there was no cantor and there was no rabbi,
Yeah.
who would lead the congregation?
We had a few men who would lead the congregation in davening and in reading the Torah, and knowledgeable people.
What was the size of the congregation?
At that time, it must have been about 100 members. It started to grow after the war was over. People used to buy houses here and come into the suburbs. And we used to get, when I was president, we had 375 members.
When were you president?
In 62,
For just that 1 year?
that 1 year. I couldn't be any longer because we were building this show. This building was building there. I was president when I was installed. The first president installed in this chapel.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Were you happy to be president?
I was happy, but I put in a lot of time because when I take a job, I got to do the job. I didn't let anybody else do it. I do it myself. And eventually, I don't know if it was this, but I had a lot of aggravation when the shul was being built. I developed a cancer and I didn't feel good. Another cancer, I mean, not forbid cancer. I had a problem with my stomach. I was bleeding and I had to quit.
Ulcer?
An ulcer, yeah.
Was it
But
from,
it was healed, huh?
was it from
I don't know, I
this?
can't blame for this. No, but it was combination probably, you know.
Okay.
But I used to put in a lot of time when the temple was being built. My God, they called me day and night. This wanted money, and the people gave donations, and they didn't pay in. I had to call people to get, and they made a pledge for, let's say, $500. When are you going to give the $500? We need it now. Because they call me every day. Everybody wants to get paid. It was a tough job, believe me, but we lived through it. But I couldn't take it another year.
What was your greatest pleasure in that job?
Well, first of all, I like this congregation much better than the conservative in Bayshore I belong. They were a very liberal, conservative congregation. And I was used to, in Poland, go to a shul. There were no conservative congregation there. And I met a lot of people who were like I was home, back in Poland.
So you felt at home because it was more conservative. Is that what you're saying?
No, not really. I liked it when it was Orthodox, when I joined it. But when they changed, when the congregation voted to become conservative,
What year was that? When?
that was maybe a year later, less than a year. And
So in
we had to
1940
started to look
1948.
for a conservative rabbi, and I was the chairman with another fellow, a member, Bedrick. He's still here. He's kind of old. He's probably close to 100. Milton Bedrick. Did you ever hear a name? He was a member here. He's not a member now.
But what you haven't told me yet. What gave you the greatest pleasure?
The greatest pleasure?
Yes, when you were president of the congregation.
I like the service. I like the people who I met in the congregation.
Mm-hmm.
You always find people, all of them.
Yes, ma'am.
And this what it is. And I was
What are you most proud of?
They gave me many jobs they asked me to take.
What are you most proud of what you did?
What I did,
Yes.
I think to finish up this building.
How is the temple different from than from today?
How's it different? It's not much different. But sometimes we had people who worked for us, rabbi or candidate, that the congregation wasn't, they weren't really liked by most of the congregants. And this was bothering me a lot, you know. But we lived through it. And they would let the rabbi go sometimes for very few reasons that were not valid. But that's how it is, you know. You'll be members of congregation, so you know.
When you say not much different, you're talking about the people?
No, the people are different. I mean, from the old congregation to
Yes.
the new, to now,
Yes.
because it was more, I would say, religious people. They kept the Shabbos, they kept the holidays, they kept to the daily minions, they kept up 3 times a day. I mean, twice a day, which is morning and Mincha Ma'ariv at the same time. We had every night a minyan. So anybody who had to say Kaddish had to go, and then there was always a minyan. Didn't have to call people. But as the years went on, and more other people and the older generations have passed away, and things have started to change. Became more liberal, of course, and that's it. But
Ariel has a question.
Yeah.
Like, what made you want to become the president of the congregation? Was your family like religious and public?
Well, my father-in-law was religious. They kept the kosher home, and we kept the kosher home. We still do at home. We never bring in any non-kosher food to the house now. And
Do you live in Glen Cove?
yeah, I lived in Glen Cove since '47. I had a few different houses, but that's where I lived. After I got married, I always lived in Glen Cove.
What made you want to live here?
I had my business here. Yeah.
His business
And
is
now I have
London
been-
Jewelers.
Now I have businesses in other places too, not only in Glen Cove.
Do you want to tell us how your father-in-law started the business?
Yeah, well, I think I told you what I tell you. He came to the United States on his own. He didn't bring his family. He left it in Poland. And he...
What year was that?
He came here in 1923. And he got a job. He saw an ad I think in the Forward or someplace, an ad that somebody needs in here. There was a Jasper jeweler, needs a watchmaker and a clock repairman. And that's what he did in Europe.
Okay. So how old was he when he came? Around.
He must have been in his 40s. Yeah.
What was his name?
So he was a watchmaker?
Yeah, and then he worked for this Jasper for 3 years, and he left Jasper and he opened up a little store on his own. The pictures that you saw on the wall, that's where he started.
Picture is of Charles London standing on the street.
That's right. And one is inside. This picture was taken, both of the pictures were taken the same day. One was taken, it was outside, and the other picture was taken when he was inside.
Is the store the same store that it was then?
Now?
Yeah.
No.
Different
That's the
location?
third store. Well, when I bought it from him, later on, I bought his building where I am now. It's my own building. But he was renting, but they were much smaller stores.
But was it in the same place?
On the same street.
It was the same street.
The
not
first street was across the street where we are now. Then he moved on this side,
Okay.
and then when I bought the building, we moved just 2 doors down.
He opened the first London Jewelers.
Yeah, it was his name was Charles London, and being that he, and his sign there, you see on the picture, says Charles London Jeweler. So I wanted to keep his name. He was known, and the people liked him, a very fine man. And so I decided to keep the same name, but I changed it to London Jewelers instead of Charles London.
What comes to your mind? What gave you the most pleasure in heading the congregation?
Because I felt I have to do something. I can't say let John do it, or let Joe do it, or let Chaim do it. I wanted to do something for the congregation. That was my father taught me. When he worked, he was active in his show in Europe, in Poland, and that's what I did. He was a charitable man, my father, very, very, and I wanted to continue to do the tradition. And I'm happy that I have 2 sons, and they are very charitable.
Ben, you had a question?
Yeah. were you young when your father left to go to the United States?
My father was never here.
The father-in-law.
Oh, your father-in-law.
My father died when I was 10.5 years old. Yeah. And I came here by myself.
Tamara?
Did you work in Poland?
Did what?
Did you work?
Did I work?
In Poland.
Yeah, when I came here, well, I finished high school when I was 18. And then I worked to help my mother to make, I made a living for them when I was 18 years old.
So what happened with your mother?
Hitler came,
Oh, really?
the whole family,
How'd you
Gone.
escape?
So what year you came here?
39.
Oh,
6 months before the war started.
So how'd you wait?
That was...
Why did
You were very lucky to get out before.
Yeah,
the
but
war
I didn't
started.
want to go. I didn't want to leave my mother and
Why didn't she
my
come?
brother. But my brother was in the Polish army then when I left. And he kept on saying, you go, and my mother wanted me to go. You know, something was brewing already in Europe then,
But the parents wouldn't go. Your
Well,
mother
my
wouldn't-
father was gone, wasn't there. And my
Okay.
mother didn't want to go.
She didn't want to go.
No.
Did you want to go?
I wanted to go and I didn't want to go. I didn't want to leave my mother. But I wanted to go. So it was
So it was mixed.
mixed.
And were you planning on asking or sending her here after a few years?
Well, I sent already papers when I was here 6 months.
It was too late.
It was too late.
In other words, 6 months already, it was too late for her to come.
Yeah. All the papers were done.
But she could not come.
That's sad.
Let me ask you about, you didn't go to the Hebrew school here, but your two sons
When
came here, went here
They
to
became
Hebrew.
bar mitzvah here.
What memories do you have of your sons coming to the Hebrew school here?
Memories? Well, it was.
How was the
they
Hebrew school?
had no problems. My older son Ira was very good in Hebrew school. He still knows how to read Hebrew now. He's okay. Mark is not as much, but he knows. He went to Hebrew school, but not.
So the two of them were
they
bar
were
mitzvah
bar mitzvah
here.
Here, yeah.
And your grandchildren?
My grandchildren
Also, two of them were bar mitzvah here.
Yeah.
Ilana?
Do you speak any other languages?
What?
Do you speak any other languages?
And the languages, yes. I speak Polish, I speak Russian. I used to speak fluent Hebrew because in Europe I went to a Hebrew school before I went to high school, and everything was taught in the Hebrew language. And we had to speak Hebrew. We were not allowed to speak any other language when we went to Hebrew school, only Hebrew.
Only Hebrew, which made sense.
And we had spies on the playground. Spies, the teachers had spies that said this one spoke in Polish or Yiddish to this guy, and we were not allowed to.
Could you imagine anything like that happening here?
No, I don't think so.
That must have been a really orthodox Hebrew school.
Yeah.
Really
If I had to do that in my school, I would have died.
I know, right?
Everybody had to know when I went to Hebrew school, even before I was bar mitzvah, had to down in the front of the congregation, had to conduct a minyan, how to daven by
So didn't
Ahmed,
they already have like bar
to be the
mitzvah?
cantor.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody took turns. That was part of the education. Everybody had to be a cantor in Hebrew school. Everybody had to know how to conduct a service. Done by Ahmed. When I went to Hebrew school.
You said originally the congregation was more religious. Everybody knew
there were
how
more-
to daven.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But all of them came from somewhere, either Russia or
Right.
Poland or Hungary or Romania.
That's where my grandma's from.
what can you say about the congregation today? What do you like about it? today's
Well, right
congregation?
now we are reorganizing. Actually,
Right.
we are picking up, which is nice. Which I really like what's happening here. And we have thank God, a rabbi that most of the I don't know of anybody who don't like it. Unless they ask it, but I didn't meet anybody yet.
Do you like the rabbi and the cantor?
Yeah,
Good.
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 I do. I really do.
Tamara?
What
And
do you think changed the most in Glen Cove?
did what? I didn't
What do you think changed most in Glen Cove?
take what did
Changed.
changed in Glen Cove. Not really much. People change, and new people come in here. I don't know many people in this congregation.
No, but for example, the population, there's not that as many Jews as
not
it used
as
to
many
be.
as used to be. That's
So
right.
the population changed a lot.
Yeah.
Is the atmosphere of Glen Cove different today than it was then?
I think so.
In what way?
First of all, the congregation gave a lot of people the opportunity to do things and to learn things, how to work. Like they came, some of them from Brooklyn or the Bronx. They used to go to Hebrew school, but they didn't know how to work for a congregation and meet people and have friends and work for the congregation. We had to teach them,
Hmm.
So
the
the
leadership.
leadership had work to do, give them jobs, and so that they carry out whatever they have to do, and they were willing to do it. Most of them were very active when they became members here.
So when you came here, where was the building? Where was the synagogue?
Synagogue was a continental place,
Do you know where the used to be?
where they're near the
I do know.
near the police station.
I
And
know.
I have, where's that little thing?
The building is
No,
still there.
the building, here.
So we have here.
Here's the building, it's still there.
So this is the building where used to be the
This here.
congregation.
Those are.
See, there's a,
I know where that is.
there's
That's the
a
fireplace.
Jewish star there, it's still
Wait,
there.
no,
They
it's
didn't
not.
want to give it
No,
up.
it's not.
I
I know
was
where that
president
is.
when
It's like
we changed, when we sold the building,
we should take
and I
the
wanted
field
to
trip.
take the Bogdanovich from
Yes.
here. They wouldn't let me take it.
Continental place.
They said, we want to have it here. When I
Yeah, but later on they.
I don't know, I think it's still there.
No, it's not.
No, no more there?
No,
Isn't
I went there.
Oh
and
yeah,
it's not,
you didn't
no.
see it. But they had it for quite a few years.
Were you,
They had
were,
the
you
Magen
the,
David, huh?
were you the president of the congregation when the new building was being built? This building?
Yeah.
When was that?
That was finished in 1962. It started in 61.
It wasn't. I think it was built in two different
First we
stages.
did
No,
the Hebrew, the school.
first this
And-
wing,
and then-
and then the sanctuary.
Yeah.
So I thought I heard it was 1958.
No,
No,
No.
it was 60.
62.
62.
It was all finished in 62.
Yeah. That was the first Rosh Hashanah, the first holidays in 62, where we usually, and I tried to do my best to finish it off for the holidays.
So probably that is one of the best, your best accomplishments.
Yeah.
The first Rosh
But there was
Hashanah.
a lot of work to be done to raise the money, to let's say, like, in a congregation, you bring up something good and you vote it down. We found out there's this land for sale, and we decided that place is too small. Holidays we couldn't put them into and there were, a lot of them were standing outside. And I said, it's time to build another building. So we started looking, and we found there was 14 acres of land here.
Also, originally were 14 acres.
14 acres, yeah. And so we brought it to the board, and they voted it down. So we rebelled. Myself and about other 10 men, we decided we're going to get money together and give a deposit
How'd you get money together?
without the authorization of the board or the temple, and have it.
So you are the
Because
rebels.
later we were the rebels.
And you
Worked for the good, and we
you
won out.
you prevailed.
And we got a good price, and we bought it, and that's it. The first thing we sold was 6 acres where there's an apartment house down below the hill. And right away we got some big money in.
So originally the congregation voted against moving.
Against it, yeah. Yeah. So everybody gave like $200 a piece and for a deposit on the land.
What is your strongest memory of celebrating your first Rosh Hashanah here?
Well,
What do you
celebrating
remember
the
about
first, I remember when I was president already then, that the first service, everybody was so pleased, in your own shul.
Who was the rabbi?
The rabbi that time was, who was the
Blumenfeld?
rabbi? No, Blumenfeld came later. Who was the rabbi? I forgot his name. Gee, I forget names.
So just the pleasure of having your own shul.
Yeah, and in a new place, and everything looks nice and new, and we carpeted and new seats and everything else, and the congregation was comfortable. It had air conditioning,
Oh.
The other show was no air conditioning.
Wow. That's a huge
Sunday
difference.
Kippur Rosh Hashanah was hot like heck. To sit there.
So you remember
Everybody-
you remember the air conditioning.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. So,
yeah.
Mayor, let me ask you, what would you say to the Hebrew school students?
Yeah.
Why they should feel part or connected with Congregation Tiferet Israel?
Well, first of all, you should work hard and learn what the teachers teach you. You should learn a little Hebrew. You should understand, and when you come to a service, anywhere you are, anywhere you're going to be, you should know what to do when you come to a shul. Well, we call it a shul, a temple. It's not actually a temple.
Do you know what is a shul?
A shul.
Synagogue.
Synagogue. And you should be familiar. You should really learn about Judaism. That's very important. That's why you're going to Hebrew school.
But
Learn about Judaism.
why this place and not the other one down the road? What is special about this place that they should feel proud of?
They should be, their parents evidently belong to the shul, right? Here.
Yes, but not many of
well,
them.
they
But they are
tend
not long members like you.
But even so,
all of them are new members.
Yeah, so that's
So
good.
what an old member
Yeah,
can tell to
you
a
got
new
to work
member.
to better the shul, make it better. If it's good now, you make it even better.
But that's what you were doing too. You felt you,
Right,
were, you
yeah.
were moving up
That's
and
right.
making it better.
Yeah, making it better.
So I want to introduce Lydia.
Hi,
This
Lydia.
is Mayor.
Who are you?
What's that
Yeah.
picture of?
Huh?
The picture.
So you want to show the pictures?
No, this picture is there was a folder. Was
Right
it?
here.
Here it is. This you
I
wanted
want
to
you to
make.
make a copy of that.
To
Just
make
gives
a
us
copy.
a little bit of his history.
Okay.
This is a little bit of history. This is an invitation.
You're a
They
mayor?
gave me here. This is an invitation for a UGA. It was very active in UGA.
So do you know what is UJA?
It's
You
called
did, you did.
United
UJA,
Jewish Appeal
it's also called Federation.
and Federation.
Jewish what?
United Jewish Appeal. So this was done in 1970.
Yeah. And here is the...
So, do you want to read it aloud or do you want to read it?
You read it.
Do we need it now?
Yeah.
Okay, whoever would like to read it.
Okay.
I'll go
Read the
there,
first
yeah.
paragraph,
Okay.
and Ilana will read the second.
Wait. This one?
Yes.
Yeah, the first one.
Okay. It is with deep feeling of